welcome to the show. This is The Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zammit. Let's get on with the show with the news, the views, the reviews, and interviews. So the news is with Starfighter. Plenty of leaks are happening online. Whether they're legitimate or not, just be aware nothing is confirmed as yet. All the leaks that you are coming across, nothing is confirmed. They could be real, but we don't know. You can, have a bit of fun speculation, whatever it is, but they're not real. They're just leaks, just to let you know. More about Starfighter in my view section coming up. To more news, Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie, now the merchandise, the popcorn containers, the Kool-Aid containers as I call them, now are coming to a point where you can, is a clearance sale. You go to the cinema now, it's in Melbourne, Australia, probably across the world as well. There is a clearance sale now. If you want to get your hands on some pretty funky stuff, do that, because these popcorn containers, these Kool-Aid containers are just great. Now, whether the movie to you is a success or not, for me, I thought it was good. And the popcorn containers and these Kool-Aid containers were great. Get them now. There's a clearance sale. So especially here in Melbourne, Australia, this weekend, we have a long weekend, a public holiday on the Monday, which we call King's Birthday weekend here in Melbourne, Australia. So go and see Mandalorian, or go and see another film if you want, and get the popcorn container or the Kool-Aid container. It's going to be on clearance. There's plenty of them. When I went to Masters of the Universe the other day, I saw a number of them there. So to more news, Star Wars Celebration LA 2027. No actual update at this stage. I have emailed them in the last couple of days. Send in your venting and your dislike of what happened with the ticket fiasco. If you still want to, I know it's a little bit off now from about a month ago almost, but this is the point where you need to still be active. Star Wars Celebration at repop.com. That's the actual email address, Star Wars Celebration at repop.com. Send in your dislike of what happened with the tickets and ask to be put on a mailing list. And wishingly, sooner than later, something can happen. To more news, that is pretty... Oh, yeah, so the other news is next week I will be giving you my most anticipated film this year was equal to Michael. That was Michael Jackson. It's Disclosure Day, Steven Spielberg, and it's sort of alien, sort of sci-fi sort of type of thing. It just looks unbelievable. Every time I see an interview or anything like that, I'm really excited for this. This is coming, so I'll be doing a review, a reaction, whatever you want to call it, next week. Look out for that. And so that is the news. Let's get into views. Views this time around, it's either my viewpoint, my opinion, or a story idea as a view, as an idea for a story. And this time it's actually to do with a storyline, especially with Starfighter. Now, the leaks are happening left, right, and center at the moment. There has been a bit of talk is who the characters, the actors who are playing these characters, what is roughly their relationship with each other. Well, we're getting sort of a bit of feedback that it's an uncle, it's a nephew, it's something like this. I personally think I accept the story for what it is. Whatever they are going to bring out to us, I accept it for what it is. But I think the nephew, the uncle thing, it's a little bit old. Especially it was happening in the last trilogy, which is episode 7, episode 8, episode 9. It sort of was done a little bit then. I think they just need to move away from that sort of whole nephew, niece, uncle, grandfather type thing. If they're going to use any sort of family sort of lineage, I think it should be, father and son or mother and daughter or something like that. That would be going back to this sort of what the original trilogy was sort of about, but bringing it into a this Starfighter film. So my view is not to sort of get on into this whole nephew sort of thing, having it to be more closer relationship, like mother and daughter, or mother and son, or father and daughter, or father and son, whatever. That's sort of close, or just to be sort of, just people in the galaxy, wherever they are. They need to be really, really far away if they don't know the events of Episode 9, which was only 5 years ago in the story timeline where Starfighter sits, was 5 years after the Rise of Skywalker Episode 9. So they need to be in an area that just, didn't hear or see or know anything. Anyway, that is my viewpoint for this time around. Let's get now into reviews. Now, reviews this time is going to be something a little bit unusual. I had a comment 2 videos ago, the one before my Masters of the Universe review, which is my last video. The one before that, it was about Star Wars 10, 11, and 12, and a Nomus 7791 said, "Love your Star Wars cave, Dave. Do you have any old school vintage in there? Would love to see some of your figures in a video sometime." Well, I don't have super old school figures. I did have super old school figures. In fact, I remember having a cookie tin with tissue paper, and I had all the figures. Back then you just didn't think of not taking them out of the packets, but they were in absolute pristine condition. I had the greatest collection of original trilogy Star Wars figures. Just absolute unusual ones, typical ones. But unfortunately, when somebody takes them without asking for them and then sells them many decades ago, I lost all those figures. It was heartbreaking. And how I found out about this was I was just going to the cinema like a couple of decades ago, and a guy said, "Oh, I saw you, your relation," I won't say who it is, "your relation, and that person sold me all these great Star Wars figures." And I thought, what? My jaw dropped. But at that point, I had to sort of count my losses and just move on. But I do have, this was given to me, but this is an original trilogy figurine. It's a pretty old now, but this is an R2-D2, if you can sort of see that. Look how grimy and old that is. That is an original trilogy R2-D2. So that's one. That's back in the original trilogy. Maybe not the first wave, but pretty close. I also thought, I just didn't want to show you this one little figure that I've got, but it's, even though it's dirty and old, it's, still priceless to me. But I thought I'd show you also some other stuff that is original but really old and sort of bizarre and sort of good. Now, I'll start off with the figures. I've got this is a original trilogy collection. So this is a reissue, but this was exactly how it came back in the day. And this has got a special cover on it as well. This is a Boba Fett. This was bought in probably, I'd say 1997, around that period. So it's a reissue, but it's the exact reissue, and it's got a special cover on it, the Boba Fett. So I'm pretty happy with that one. I did also have another one that I got. So that was from Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett. This one's from Empire Strikes Back. This is an original trilogy figure, but if you look closely, Yoda way back in the day would have had a plastic cape, not a cloth cape, but that is a reissue of the original trilogy in a plastic cover as well. So that's hold that prize as well. That was bought about the same time as the other one, about 1997. This one here is quite unique. This is a, whoa, nearly dropped everything here. This here is, I got this. This is an exclusive figure that I got at Star Wars Celebration in Orlando. I think it was, yeah, or Orlando, or no, maybe Chicago. I can't remember. It was the 40th anniversary special edition, only bought at Star Wars Celebration, of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that is a prize. A prized figure. I'm going to take a Mandalorian Pill one here. And this one here came as a double. It came with Darth Maul, which I've shown you before, which is back there somewhere. In fact, if you look really close, in the deep corner right there, you'll see it. This was, so Darth Maul, I got signed by Ray Park, the original Darth Maul. I've never been able to see Ewan McGregor at or even, this guy, which was McGuinness, Alec McGuinness, which we'll never be able to get. He's got a graph anyway. But I don't really want this signed by Ewan McGregor. I think it would be a bit odd. But yeah, so this is definitely a high collectible. This was from Chicago. I can remember now. Chicago Star Wars Celebration, 40th anniversary. So that was great. It's a reissue, but it's a bit bigger in size. So if you look at the original trilogy size packet, besides the plastic thing, it's slightly bigger. So it's a bigger variant of it, which I thought was pretty good. But yeah, so that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. The other thing that I've got, the 30th anniversary. I've shown this before, but I'll show it again because Nomus7791 wanted some figures. I just don't have these figures because they were taken away from me. God, unbelievable. This is a DVD collection of the 30th anniversary. This is meant to be, because I don't have a running DVD player at the moment, this is the original, actual New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, as it was on DVD. Now, if that is the case, this is before the celebration, before this is not the special edition that came out in 97, 96, whatever it was. This is the original one, before they did it on special edition on DVD. Now, I don't know, I can't confirm because I don't have a DVD player, but that's what it was. I did watch it one time, but so long ago I can't even remember. But that's when Star Wars was at its 30th anniversary. Anyway, so that's amazing. That's the Star Wars trilogy, OT, which stands for Original Trilogy. Anyway, so and the last thing I've got to show you, which is original, but this is from a different era. This was definitely in 1999, and I have shown this before, but I'll show it again. This is a Pepsi, with Darth Maul on it. It's still full. Definitely do not drink this. I'm not going to drink this, let me tell you. But yeah, Darth Maul on Pepsi. It was for the Phantom Menace. I hold that prize. It's still full, and it's not been shaken, thank God, because I'm never going to open it. And for me, so all those things, look, I'm just going to give a 10 out of 10 for all those things because I've kept them as long as I have. Maybe not in a pure best condition like Mr. R2-D2 here, but the other stuff is great, good condition. Maybe a little bit of dust on there, but a bit of a wipe is no problem. But yeah, so that was dedicated. This review was dedicated for Nomus7791. I wish I could show you the original actual characters, figures that I had in this cookie tin in tissue paper. They were kept pristine. My God, it was amazing. Anyway, let's get into, now that was reviews. Let's now get into interviews. Interviews is my last particular video that I had, and I'll just get it. There it is. I'll just get it up and to see what comments I've got. And while I'm here, subscribe to the channel. I'm here 3-4 times a week with the Star Wars news, views, reviews, and interviews. The Force always. It's up to you. If you like to like, share, whatever, it's up to you. But let's get into the questions. I've not even reviewed these questions, but so hopefully they're going to fall into the Star Wars category. So, Michael from Werribee South, he's back on. It's been quiet for the last couple of days. Wonder why. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Michael from Werribee South. Werribee South is part of Melbourne, Australia, if you want to know. Please send in your questions from San Diego or Russia or Malta or Greece, wherever you like, wherever you are in the world. I'd love to hear from you. Did the 3 post-credit scenes effectively build excitement for a sequel? Do you feel the ending left a satisfying narrative wrap-up, or did it feel too focused on setting up a future cinematic universe? Michael, once again, has not mentioned what he's talking about, but I, using the Force, know what he's talking about. He's talking about the Masters of the Universe particular film. Now, funny enough, I was so done with the film at the end, and I did think there was going to be some possible post-credits, but I just didn't stick around. I didn't see any of them. Apparently, they were pretty good, and I missed out on that, but, you know, oh, well, that's how the cookie crumbles, so I can't even answer those questions. And being a Star Wars channel and being that was a review of the last episode, if you can make Star Wars questions, that'd be great. But yeah, but stick around. If you're going to go to Masters of the Universe, watch it to the very end, because apparently there's 3 credit scenes at the very end, in the middle, and the very, very end. Anyway, so the next question for Michael from Werribee South is, how well did Nicholas Gousentyne handle the duality of Prince Adam and He-Man? Critics noted he brought himbo energy and pathos to the character, but some question if his character's modernized exploration or simplistic masculinity felt undercooked. I think he was a great pick. Like, I think he had the look, he had the acting chops, but I think the direction of the comedy, especially in his character, was just way too much. It gave him a real subtle feel, less serious. Because back in the day in the cartoons, He-Man was more serious, probably a bit more sort of DJ spoken, like, I am He-Man, and that's what it is. But it was a bit more serious, you know. And this one is a bit more fluffy. But still had lots of characteristics of He-Man. I think you couldn't do really anything better than this actor, because he was an ultimate. I think having an unknown for the character was a great choice. But if you look in the movie, the last actual Masters of the Universe or He-Man actual movie, the actual actor is in this as a cameo. And I won't tell you who that is, but I'll give you a clue. It's from another movie. I Must Break You. Figure that one out. Anyway, the next question is, what did you think of Jared Leto's performance as Skeletor? Despite initial skepticism online, many viewers found his unrecognizable, campy, and scene-stealing portrayal of the major highlight. Did he strike a right balance between being genuinely menacing and hilariously over the top? Skeletor was definitely a highlight. Absolute highlight. It's partly why I got the Skeletor Kool-Aid container, because he looked better on the top of the Kool-Aid container. And I saw it in the eye. I think he did well, but he is, you won't know it's Jared Leto. This is the problem. It's like he's going to get a lot of props, meaning lots of positive reviews for his performance, but you're not really going to know who it is. So the next film, you're going to, oh, that was Skeletor. No, you're not going to know his voice, his look, everything like that. Unfortunately, he does get lost in the character, but the character portrayal by him, beautiful. I would give that a 10 out of 10. Anyway, the last question today, and from Michael from Werribee South, and please ask me any questions, any of you guys. It doesn't just have to be Michael from Werribee South. What was the treatment of Fisto and Ram Man clever or too crude? The film explicitly pokes fun at the absurdity of the original toy names, including subverting them into adult learning sex jokes. Did this add to the fun or detract from the fantasy world? Like, I'll tell you this. I have dark humor. I can get sexual dark humor underway as well, and I sort of thought it was, unusual in this kid's type of film because it's essentially this film is built for an 8-year-old boy or girl. I just thought the comedy, whatever it was, whether it was Fisto or Ram Man, it was just too long, and the actual He-Man part started way too late in the actual film, but. It's not a bad film. It's just an okay film. I gave it a 5.5. I just think the Fisto and Rayman character, there was a lot of underlying sort of jokes there. Way too many, especially with those ones, especially with Fisto. But it was sort of funny and sort of not. It was just like it was done. It was just cooked. But anyway, this is a Star Wars channel, so please, send in your questions. I'm here 3 or 4 times a week. The Force Always. Subscribe, like or share, whatever you like to do. But until next time, my friends, keep rocking.